Hello, and welcome back to the Triangle Business Podcast. I am your co-host, Joey Nattel, followed by,
Your other co-host, Scott Moore.
yes, welcome back to another episode. So today, as you can see from my very fun festive shirt, it is the end of the year on 2025 and probably be our last episode of the year. And we wanted to kind of celebrate and also talk about celebration in general and
Okay.
why that is difficult for a lot of small business owners to even medium-sized business owners and entrepreneurs in general. And the concept of like taking time off and why it's so hard kind of thing. So I'll kick it off with a question and throw it to you, Scott, with why does rest feel unsafe for high performers in a lot of ways? And high performers in this context, we're talking about mostly business owners, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. I mean, uh, I think our culture puts a tremendous amount of value on being busy.
Mm,
We People who have a lot of free time are regarded as lazy,
yes.
um, or like they're not somehow living up to their potential or their purpose or whatever,
Mm,
uh, free time is something kids have or you know unemployed people have. Um, and I think there's also a lot of scarcity about money. And so it's like, well, I
mhm.
could be doing something right now to be running my business, earning some money. I could be being productive right now.
Yes.
So that ends up feeling like I think even if we surround ourselves with people who don't attack us for enjoying leisure time, we
Mhm.
often are our own worst enemy.
Mm. Oh yeah, I definitely can relate to that. Here's a concept that comes to mind, and I remember when I first heard it, it made more sense to me when I used to work in corporate America. I had less time, but I wonder now as an entrepreneur if it's still some truth to it. And it was something my dad shared with me, which is if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person.
Yeah.
And that may be kind of left field, but I wanted to share it here. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, yeah, the idea is, busy people know how to get things done fast or efficiently because they have so many things to do.
Hmm.
Um, I've heard it also said, give it to a lazy person because they'll try to hurry up and get it done so they can go back to being lazy.
Oh, I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
That's good.
Um, but I think the other thing, I think you and I both work with clients where for me with every client I have all of them do the Clifton Strengths,
Hmm.
used to be called the Strengths Finder 2.0.
Hmm.
And I let people know that like the reason it's important for me to know what you're best at is because we don't live in a culture that values what you're best at.
Hmm.
We live in a culture that places emphasis on shoring up your weaknesses. And so I encourage my clients, and consequently, I try to encourage myself to like spend my time doing the things I'm best at most of the time.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean I'm not allowed to be bad at anything.
Yes.
Like anything you enjoy doing, that even whether you're good at it or not, is time well spent because you're enjoying yourself.
Yes.
But but we spend a lot of time going, what needs improvement?
Hmm.
And then we end up going, well, while I'm sitting here doing nothing,
Yes.
then what could I be doing to shore up my weaknesses,
Hmm.
get better at the things I'm bad at? And I just like what an exhausting way to live that is.
Yeah. That's interesting you say that because I think about that a lot. Like, I think it's contextual. So, like, when it's important to work on your weaknesses versus like, no, in entrepreneurship, maybe you should hire someone for that. Other areas, it's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But like, no, maybe you should just focus on your strengths kind of thing. And as I'm saying that out loud, I feel like that applies to different levels of where you are on the entrepreneur journey. Like in the beginning, where you're wearing all the hats, like you just may not be enjoy some of the parts that you're not good at as much, and that may get in the way. So you have to spend more time and energy, which by default you're going to get better at it anyway.
One of the thoughts that comes to me about this is some years back, I developed the idea that I'm busy all the time.
Mhm.
And I cling to that very strongly.
Okay.
Like, and as much as, I enjoy a lot of time freedom,
Mhm.
that's not the same as not being busy. I tell people, when they're like, how have you been? I'm like, I've been super busy.
Mhm.
They're like, oh yeah, work is heavy. And I'm like, well, work is good. And I'm actually pretty close to like a full client count at this point.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, uh, when I'm not working, sometimes I'm always busy. I'm busy traveling to see friends. I'm busy doing, volunteer work. I'm busy building something.
Mhm.
I'm busy taking a nap. I'm busy playing computer games.
Mhm.
I'm busy hanging out with my friends, having drinks.
Mhm.
Like, I'm doing something every minute of every day.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the dangers of entrepreneurship, is that if your business becomes successful, which is, what we all hope it will.
Mhm.
First of all, what does that word even mean, successful? But
Yes.
I think if you make lots of money but you don't have any time freedom, then I don't think you're a successful entrepreneur. And
Yes.
if you're not able to financially support yourself, but you have a lot of time freedom, you're also not a successful entrepreneur, because rocks are hard, water is wet, and things cost money.
I had someone try to argue with me that water is not wet,
Okay.
but that's beside the point.
Things that water gets on become wet, right?
Yes,
Not the argument
I
for.
think water is wet, just for
Um,
the record.
if that's
Um,
how you want to stay busy, is by arguing about whether water is wet, more power to you. We
yes, I
need more
agree.
great philosophers in this world, right?
I think so.
Ever
Um,
since we lost Yoda, man,
yeah,
we just don't have any of the great
no.
philosophers. Um,
This is, I like where you're going the direction of this conversation because it really makes me think of this idea. Well, something personal to me that has come up is um, I'm going to presuppose that I will be more successful in my business, which I'm excited to be because we all have goals and want to achieve them. And without defining that level of success, I do agree that having no time and all the money and success is great, but also having all the time. 'Cause there's the other thing of like having all the time. How do I phrase this? You get to a level of success where you can just buy all the time and you have all the money. Let's just say that's like a level of success that somebody might want.
sure.
But if you have no one to spend it with, that's another level of, I would say that's very unsuccessful.
Yeah.
And that really hit me really hard, like this year, actually, and realizing like, wow, like, oh man, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So if it's not going to happen, if it's going to happen, I got to do it and I got to really make it happen. I want to hurry up and get there so I can have all that time. And you start to deteriorate friendships, romantic relationships, marriages for some people. And that would be the complete opposite, especially the nature of work that I do, communication, connection, things
Yeah.
like that. So it's just like,
Well, I mean, you'd be surprised how many people I've talked to over the years, whether like career coaching or business coaching,
mhm,
where I just ask a real simple question. I'm like, are you home for dinner with your family?
yeah.
I mean, I've had business owners laugh in my face,
Uh-huh.
like, of course not. Like, there's no way I could possibly be successful in my business and be home for dinner every night.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But is your success in your business like bringing you to the brink of divorce or to the brink of not having a relationship with your kids? Uh,
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't necessarily think we're off topic, but I think we're kind of bumping up against it. And the thing I think we're bumping up against is uh big rocks go in first. We've all
Yeah.
seen that little cutesy example where they take the jar and they put the rocks in, right? And we know
Yeah.
that if you wait to put all the sand and the pebbles and all that in before
Mhm.
you'll never fit the big rocks in. So look at your calendar.
Mhm.
Look, how far out do you have to go before there's blank space? And then grab some of it and be like, I always love to write, like click and drag and write this space left blank intentionally.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
ever flip like looking at a book or whatever, and there'll just be a page in the middle of the page that says this space left blank intentionally. That's how I
Yes.
think. Um,
Yeah. No, those are fun.
because and then like fight like hell to keep it, right? Because you'll be tempted to be like, well, I could go to that networking thing that day, or I think that carving it out as downtime, vacation, um, like that's great, but put something in there that will make it feel celebratory.
Yes. I think, yeah, I agree. And so while maintaining the confines of the topic of celebration and time off, in a lot of ways, is one of my good friends. I saw him. I had a birthday party this past Saturday. I told him, I was like, ever since you shared this information with me, I share it with a lot of my clients, and I'll share it here on the episode, is time enjoyed is not time wasted. And
Right.
so, like, I need to remind myself of that. And so, in relation to celebration and who you're celebrating it with, why I brought that up for this was because I started to fall into this trap of like, oh no, like hanging out with friends just to hang out with friends. Well, that's not productive. But according to what parameters? Is it like getting some admin tasks done in the business? No. Is it recharging me? Health business? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And falling into the hustle culture, today's society, I think is really super unhelpful. And like you said, are you home with your family? You spend time. Do you make time for your friends? Do you make time for activities that aren't always just the business?
Well, maybe this has helped me be successful in mine, but like